I'm Gigi Edgley from Little Empire Productions, and I played Chiana on Farscape for over 5 years, and I hosted Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge, and you're watching Sci-Fi Journal.
Welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Journal. We are at Rhode Island Comic Con 2014. This show is for December, last show of the year. What a nice way to end it up, too. I'm Marc Morisseau. Also hosting the show today are
Calvin Watts III,
Jay Kingston,
James Hinsey.
All right, and as always, we talk about the wonderful world of movies with Jay Kingston. Take it away, Jay.
Okay, since this is going to be such a power-packed show, we've only got 2 movies for you this month. Number 1, The Avengers, Age of Ultron. You know the cast. You know there's going to be an addition of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Yep. Let's take a look at that footage right now.
Yeah, whosoever be he worthy, you shall have the power. Whatever, man. It's a trick.
No, it is much more than that, my friend.
If I lift it, do I get to rule Asgard?
Yes, of course.
I will be fair but firmly cruel. Be right back. Are you even pulling? Are you on my team?
Just represent, pull.
All right, let's go. Come on, Cap.
Nothing.
Oh, no, that's not a question I need answered.
The handle's imprinted. Whosoever is carrying Thor's fingerprints is, I think, the literal translation.
Yes, well, that's a very interesting theory. I have a simpler one. You're all not worthy.
How could you be worthy? You're all puppets, tangled in strings.
It's the end. The end of the path I started us on.
Nothing lasts forever.
Okay, and second but not least is Into the Woods. The Stephen Sondheim major musical from Broadway has been turned into a movie by, I believe, the Disney Corporation. Yes, and it's going to be out December.
Christmas. Yes, at Christmas.
At Christmas time. And it's going to be a big, big production. So let's take a look at that footage.
wish to have the curse reversed?
That's one of my favorite musicals. One of my favorite musicals of all time is the Into the Woods. So.
It's a great. It combines all the grim fairy tales, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, look for those films to come out. Avengers comes out in May. Into the Woods comes out Christmas, and now to the wonderful world of gaming with your host Calvin Watts. Calvin.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
All right. Basically what Jay says, since we have such a power-packed show here, I only have a few things, so let's go with them really quick. The Destiny First expansion, DLC, pack, whatever you want to call it, comes out this month. There's going to be new raids, new strikes. I'll give you a little review on that in the upcoming show, maybe January or February when we get around to it. Also, Dying Light, the zombie apocalyptic thriller, has been canceled for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, so it's coming out on next-generation systems only. So you need a PS4 or an Xbox One. I plan on getting that. That's coming out in January. So we'll have a review on that in an upcoming show. Let's see what else is going on. Pintastic New England 2015, July 10th and 11th up in Sturbridge, Mass. One of the things we weren't able to do last month was show off some of Gabriel's machines. So what we're going to do is we're going to showcase a pinball table each month as we get closer to the convention. And the first one here is the wonderful table, The Wizard of Oz. Jersey Jack's Pinball's first table. It's an incredible machine, and you'll see why right now. Check it out. All right, now what you were looking at here is what I wanted to show off at the Pinball Wizard Arcade, but unfortunately it was down. Very fortunate for us, this one is not. This is Jersey Jack's Pinball's first machine based on The Wizard of Oz, the classic Julie Garland movie back from the 1930s. And this really has revolutionized how pinball machines are made. There are so many innovations on this, not the least of which is the LED screen that you have for the score, and a lot of the movie themes are integrated into it. And it's a very complex machine, but it's a lot of fun to play. You're looking at a limited edition, and Gabriel was saying he's actually in the credits of the machine. So why don't you talk a little bit about what makes this so cool?
Jack is a friend of mine. I was early buyer on this game, and through the group, there's a private group for Jersey Jack Pinball. Through email and meeting him at the shows, we've become friends, and he put me into the credits because I helped him through some of the tough times of, a lot of criticism on the game, and we would email back and forth, and I helped him get through. I feel that I helped him get through some of that, and I was very positive towards changing people's minds on the group and everything like that. I would constantly ask for updates on the game. Where are the updates? And it became a big funny thing. But this game, it's amazing the time that went into it, the LCD screen, the stereo sound, the direct print cabinet. The cabinet on this game is direct print art onto wood. Very, very, it's a new innovation that I'm not sure that I don't think they're going to do it on the Hobbit anymore because it was just a lot went into that. So I'm glad to have this version, and it's got the wood apron. Everybody signed. This is number 31 of 1,000, and this game it's got a lot of stuff in it. I mean, Jack did not spare any expense. He went all out And after all the criticism of the, he had some light issues, and he followed up. He fixed everything. The customer service at Jersey Jack Pinball is amazing, and people stuck with him. People who stuck with him will be rewarded in the future, hopefully, for this game, for Hobbit, for Pat's game, and what he produced is just amazing in my eyes.
I really think that Jersey Jack is one of the biggest reasons why you're seeing the pinball resurgence of today over the past couple of years that you had, because it's somebody new bringing some different ideas to the table, and it really shows an absolute blast to play.
Yes, Jack he said that this is the worst game he's ever going to make. So you can imagine The Hobbit is going to be something even more special. Jack has shown me some things that he's doing on The Hobbit, things that nobody's ever done before, things that you wouldn't think of doing, and things. The flow in the game is going to be, it's going to be promoted by what he is putting into the game. It's going to help make the game that much more better. It's just they're not stopping. They're going full force, innovation, and that's it. The next game after that is Pat's game, original theme. Who knows what they're going to let Pat do? I mean, they've been tied with the copyright, with the law, with the licenses. The licenses, they're limited to what they can do. But with Pat's game, there's no limitations. I asked Jack, who's the approval person on Pat's game? He said, me. I am. That's it.
So if you ever wondered what is inside a pinball machine, now you're looking at the inside of the Wizard of Oz, and you have the computer that's covered under by the metal box, and you can see all the wiring and the switches for the LED lighting. It's really an impressive piece of machinery when you consider all the work that goes into it.
Yeah, you can see the two side-by-side magnets over there. You can see the underneath there for the mini playfield. They got the mechanisms under there. Everything is the light boards are specifically made for this game, which was probably going to change in The Hobbit, so that they can use a universal type of light board. But it's Williams parts. It's added with Jersey Jack charm, and just there's a lot of innovation and a lot of crazy stuff that went into this game. You can imagine the bill of sales in this game compared to other games. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping Jack's making a profit on this.
Two other things really quick, since obviously we were at the Rhode Island Convention Center. We were going to do a demonstration in the studio with the Blue Goji thing for the iPad. That's going to get pushed off to a future show, but look for that. And last, but certainly not least, I'm giving a shout out to one of the students on my bus. He's a preschooler whose family watches the show a lot. And he's come a long way, and he's a really awesome kid. So Chris Angel Fuentes, hi. I will see you at work or at school. That's all I got. So now it's on to the wonderful world of Toob News with our chairperson, Marc Morisseau. Take it away, Marc.
Thank you. And I'm the oldest one here, so I need notes. Here we go. What do you think? Oh, what do you think? Here we go.
I think it'd be better if you pad them right side up.
I know. All right, it's Rhode Island Comic Con. So I figured since we're talking about comic books, I want to tell you about two comic books that are getting the TV treatment. The first is Archie Comics. They're coming up with a series called Riverdale. It's going to be produced by Warner Brothers for Fox Television. It's going to be a 1 hour long drama series. No information yet about casting or when it's going to be airing or stuff. But if you're a big fan of Archie, look for a live action series sometime in 2015. There's also another comic book called I, Zombie is getting a series based on the comic by Vertigo. That's coming out on the CW sometime in 2015. If you don't know anything about the comic book, it's about a medical student. Her name is Olivia Moore, and she's played by actress Rose McIver, who right now plays Tinkerbell on Once Upon a Time. and she was also in one of the Power Rangers series. Well, she goes to a rave party. They all get wiped out by zombies, except she turns into a zombie, and she ends up working for the medical examiner's office, eating brains in order to stay human. Only problem is, every time she eats a brain, she gets the thoughts and feelings of the person that died. So she works with the medical examiner and a detective to solve crimes of the people who passed away. So that's coming up sometime in the near future, 2015. Marvel's Agent Carter from the Captain America movie is going to start airing Tuesdays in January on ABC. It's an 8-episode limited series starring Haley Atwell as Agent Peggy Carter. And then Morena Baccarin from Firefly and Homeland, she's going to have a recurring role in the series Gotham. She's going to play the Dr. Leslie Tompkins. And Fox has just ordered a whole bunch load of new episodes for that series.
Full season.
It's a full season for Series 1, which is good. And then the last thing I've got is The Walking Dead. There was a rumor going around by a fan that the whole thing was a dream made up by Rick Grimes, because in the opening episode he wakes up out of a coma. So Robert Kirkman, the creator, just tweeted recently that he's denied a fan's theory that the entire series of events could be taking place in Rick Grimes' mind. Those things, according to the storyline, are actually happening. Okay? And Walking Dead, as we tape, is finishing up the last few episodes. All right, that's all I have for Toob News. Every year in December, we always have an in memoriam for those stars and fans and people connected with science fiction and fantasy who passed away in 2014. So let's take a moment to take a look at that.
It's Anime Daisuki with James. And I've got just a couple things, you know, check out Dragon Ball Z Kai on the Toonami. They're airing now. And MISTI-Con is coming up in May of 2015, Memorial Day weekend. It's the Wizarding World's Fair, and I've got some postcards. And we have a hashtag called Misty Everywhere. So here's my Misty Everywhere hashtag with this shot. And then, you know, we're going to be here all weekend here at Rhode Island Comic Con. We're going to have a bunch of interviews with a bunch of great people. Hopefully we got some really good stuff for you. And so here, check it out. And, you know, we'll see you next month.
Hey, I'm here with world-renowned artist Bob Eggleton. He is a multi-Hugo Award-winning artist, and he has a booth here at Rhode Island Comic Con. Bob, great to see you again.
Yes, good to see you.
So, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Doing very well.
Very good, very good. Now, the covers that I'm looking at here in front of me, most of them are from...
Some of them are made-up images, things like that. They're my dragons and stuff like that. They're my own, a lot of my own ideas. And then, of course, there's the Godzilla work that I've done. Like, that's an IDW cover right here. And I've got some famous Monsters of Filmland covers in back there, stuff like that.
Famous Monsters of Filmland. That's got to be like a childhood dream of yours doing
it is.
that.
It's a lot of fun to do. It's like the magazine's still being published. I'll do a little promotion. And it's still being published, and I'm now doing cover art for it, especially for their Godzilla Kaiju issues, which are yearly best-selling issues now, which are great, and they're a lot of fun to do.
That's great, and you also do the covers for the IDW comic Godzilla?
Yeah, I do some of them. I do a few of them. I just got a run of them called Godzilla Cataclysm. I did the subscriber variant issues, which are actually out right now.
That's great. And where can anybody get those?
Newbury Comics, at your local comic shop, Time Capsule, anywhere like that.
That's great. Now, your prints here, I don't know if you can, well, give us a vague hint as to what the prints are going for.
Less than $25, but more than $15.
Well, that's about as vague as you can possibly be. I have no idea what you're talking about. Geez, it's great to have you back on the show. It's been a long time, and you've always been one of our most popular segments. So it's
everybody comes to me and they watch your show late at night. I get these people that are like, you know, even like my accountant, he's like, I was watching the show at 3:30 in the morning. I'm going like, what were you doing at 3:30 in the morning? He goes, channel surfing. I went, oh, okay.
Well, there you have it. If you want to see Bob's work up close, you can go to bobeggleton.com.
Or just Google my name, Bob Eggleton. More interesting stuff comes up that way.
Okay. Well, that's all with Bob, and thanks for the interview. And
I leave you with a Godzilla pose.
Hi, James here. I'm with Kristina Moy from Blackout Artwork and Graphics. Hi, Kristina.
Hi, how are you?
So tell me, what do you have here that you're selling today?
So I have a little bit of my art and prints right here, and then this is kind of more of the postcards, stickers, bookmarks, and then I've got my Fenham tee. So a lot of loose leaf tea right here.
Yeah. And you mix these teas yourself, right?
So there's a website called adagio.com, and they actually let you do your own blends. And really, on that scale, I have a lot of artist friends. They do their own teas, and I kind of decide to do my own as well. So it's kind of a nice social community where you can share your art and kind of be a little bit creative.
And what kind of fandoms are you covering here?
I'm a big Harry Potter fan. You can see with like the bookmarks and whatnot. I also like Sherlock and Doctor Who, a little bit of Merlin. I'm very open to a lot of different sci-fi genres, and I'm kind of going with my mini zines right here, trying to do a little bit of my own original work. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much, and have a good time.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Okay, we are here with Derek Benjamin from R-Cade Entertainment, and he's doing something really cool in Rhode Island, retro video game nights. Now, you guys know from listening and talking with me on the show that I'm really big into video gaming, but I'm an old school gamer. I started out with Pong, and this stuff is right up my alley. So how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm just loving it here at the Rhode Island Comic Con. This is the third year that's been to Rhode Island. I think it's the biggest and best year. Today, I ended up bringing in some of the retro gaming scene I'm a big fan of, and I'm sure all of you at home are. All right. We also brought in the Oculus Rift. I actually got him stationed inside center stage with GameStop. It's this game called Zone, developed by James from Pixel Router. Right. As you can see here, we got the Nintendo 64. We got the Retron 5 here, and people are just having a great time. What I do is try to bring this sort of entertainment services to venues in the Rhode Island and South Coast area.
Okay, so what is it exactly that you do at these video gaming nights, and where's the next one going to be?
Okay, so what I do is I host a series of video game challenges. It really exhilarates the atmosphere, and it really It brings people together to have a great time. I'm going to be doing an event. My next event is at the English Cellar Ale House. It's right off Dyer Street in Providence, Rhode Island. It's in a couple of weeks from now, November 11th and November 25th. Right, it's from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's going to be a great time. Gaming fall.
Okay, and you have a website that people can go to for more information?
You can look us up right on Facebook, R-Cade Entertainment, and yeah, we would love to have a party, and you're all invited. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, we are speaking with Mr. Jim Taylor. Hello, Jim.
How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Jim and I were stuck in line over back in the vendor's booth trying to get tables and all that other good stuff, so I had a chance to have a nice conversation with him. And he's a freelance. And then they let us in. Yeah, even after they knew what we were about, they still let us in the door. Okay. How long have you been drawing and doing all this funny comic stuff?
Better than 40 years. So I started drawing my own personal comics, you know, at home when I was maybe 12, 13 years old. And now at 50, I'm still trying to do it. So it's been a day or two.
Now, do you do all the work? You do the drawing, coloring, the whole thing?
I do the penciling, and I rarely ever touch inks because that's a real skill and a talent of its own. So I pass it along to various people that I know that are good inkers. Then I pass it along again to people that I know that are good colorists, and that's what comes up with something like, you know, like this piece here. But it's got to start somewhere, and it starts with me with the pencils.
Well, that's nice, so that you spread the wealth a little bit.
Try to. So plus there's other people, like I said, that you know, there are people that are great at coloring, might not be able to do a thing with inks, but there are people that can do great stuff with inks that might not want a pencil. So everybody kind of gets a chance to showcase their talent.
Nice. Now, DC, Marvel, any favorite characters?
Gee, only since I was 6 years old, I've been a Batman fan. So, yeah, that's been a 45 year love affair with that character.
Now, are there any characters that you say, I absolutely positively will not pencil this guy whatsoever?
That I would not do it. I probably would not do the Todd McFarlane version of Spider-Man because I would just go nuts doing all that webbing that he does. So.
Now, do you have a website that you can plug if people want to get in touch with you?
On Facebook at The Art of Jim Taylor, right on Facebook, and it's better than having a website nowadays. Is just do it on Facebook. All right.
Very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, let's go check out something else.
I cannot begin to tell you guys how happy I am. Now, for longtime viewers of the show, I have told you time and again the story about my interview with Nichelle Nichols. Now, I know I've been doing this for a long time, almost 20 years, here and there. And Nichelle Nichols gave an excellent interview with me back at the Great American Comic Book Expo, which is very defunct. This is way back in 2003 up in Boston. The best interview I've ever done. She is the epitome of class, and unfortunately, because of technical reasons, I was unable to do the interview. So it's with great pleasure that I have the wonderful Nichelle Nichols with me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and thank you so much. It's good to be here with you again.
So how have the fans in Rhode Island been treating you?
Fans are fans, and they're fantastic. The fans, you know, our Star Trek fans are among the best, and I love them, and they know it, and they love me, and I know it. So what more could you ask for?
Absolutely. One of the things I've always loved about you, you have treated your fans with love and respect. You do a lot of stuff on social media. Her autobiography, Beyond Your Her, is must reading if you are a Star Trek fan. And one of the things I remember talking about in 2003, which I found fascinating, was the fact that at one point you were going to quit the show. You were unhappy, there was things going on, and then you went to a party, if I remember correctly. And in that party you met somebody who talked to you and basically convinced you to stay on the show. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, they didn't exactly convince me to stay on the show. They ordered me. He, by the name of Dr. Martin Luther King. You do not say no, sir, to Dr. Martin Luther King. We became, and he was, to my surprise, but I don't know why, the biggest Star Trek fan that you can imagine. So when he said I had to stay on the show, it was a little selfish on his part too, and which I was delighted, you know. And somebody found out about it and got there that he was there and wanted to meet, you know, wanted to talk to me, and they got the interview on tape from the side, you know, and. In the middle, Dr. King said, "Hey, you, the one over there snooping, why don't you come on around and join the party?" And they did, and it was, and he said, "But I warn you, the last one of my people that did me and Miss Nichols doesn't exist anymore." And they looked at him like this, you know, like, "What do you mean?" But he said, you know, doesn't exist. He says, "The interview doesn't exist." He said, "But if you want to disappear, I could probably arrange it for you too." He had a wonderful sense of humor.
But it's been almost 50 years since Star Trek has come on, and it has been such an enduring legacy. I got into science fiction because of Star Trek, and primarily because of people like you and George Takei. And you are the epitome of class. You are. If you ever get to go to a con and she is there, you must go and see her. You will not be disappointed. Miss Nichols, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, unless a passing ladder is coming behind me, and then he might hear something that he hasn't heard for a very long time. Like, get out of here.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
All right, this is really cool. I am speaking with Gigi Edgley. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Providence.
I just love your accents.
You do? Well, actually, my accent is a little bit of Canadian because I'm French-Canadian from the northern part. So we talk like side by each and say things like that.
You started sounding very Rhode Island, though, did you not?
I am very Rhode Island. I do.
Rhode Island, Canadian, he's an alien.
We have soda and we park the cars.
Oh, stop.
We do. It's amazing. Okay. Welcome to Providence.
Thank you.
You're having a great time?
It really is a great accent, though. I love it. Everyone that's come up to my table, I'm like, just speak to me. Tell me just anything. Tell me what you had for breakfast. I just love that sound.
Now, I was saying to the fans, years ago you did a promo for us for Sci-Fi Journal. You did. You said hi, you and your baby. Yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about your experiences on Farscape.
Farscape was such an awesome show for me to be part of. Yeah, I auditioned for one episode. They loved the character. I stuck around on Moya for over 5 years. Recently, they asked me to come back and shoot Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too.
And that was an awesome, awesome show. It was 10 creature designers that competed for $50,000 in a year to work full-time at the Jim Henson Creature Shop. They designed, fabricated, made the animatronics, the mechanisms. Like, it was unbelievable. And then they would quite often perform the creature at a screen test in front of Brian Henson, Kirk Thatcher, Beth Hathaway, and myself. So it was a brilliant show.
Now, is there going to be another season of this? Do you know?
Sci-Fi haven't picked it up. I think that they are shopping it around other channels and networks and stuff, but we'll see. I hope so, because it was an awesome show.
Now, you've done some other Sci-Fi Channel stuff too. Didn't you do like a movie, a couple of movies?
Yes, I've done a couple of movies, but most recently I've been working on building my own productions, because I go to many conventions and I want to give back to the fans because they've helped me so much along the way. So I've started a company quite a few years back called Little Empire Productions. And at the moment, Little Empire Productions and Runic Films have joined forces because we've actually started working on this film, which is one of the most captivating and enthralling scripts that I've ever read. And I've just got to an age in my life that I don't want to commit to projects that I'm not really excited about. I never really have to start with, but I'm really honing in on stuff that I really, really, really love and stories I want to tell. So it's a Kickstarter. It begins on Tuesday.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yep. Yep. And you can find out about it at runicfilms.com and also on my website, gigiedgley.com. I've got links to my Twitter, my Facebook account there, and I update it
Now, what about, didn't I see something about a comic book also?
Why, yes.
Promotion. Go ahead.
So I also do comic books as well. This one's called Blue Shift, and it's about a girl who gets sucked up into space. And it happens, doesn't it? It's like, not again.
You're hanging around in Rhode Island with your accents, you get sucked up in a vortex. All right.
And I'm speechless. He's got me. And then I also do music as well. I record tunes, and these are...
I heard that about you. You have a nice singing voice.
Thank you very much. You've got a nice speaking voice. And this is So It Seems and LA Charm. This one I did in Seattle. This one I did in Hollywood. Okay. So they're all my new sort of things that I've got bubbling at the moment.
All right, good. Now, one more time for the fans. Can you say, I'm Gigi Edgley, and you're watching Sci-Fi Journal?
La 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 la! I'm Gigi Edgley from Little Empire Productions, and I played Chiana on Farscape for over 5 years, and I hosted Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge, and you're watching Sci-Fi Journal.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hi, I'm here with Jim Dyer of your publishing.
Fenham Publishing.
Fenham Publishing. And tell me about your grandfather.
My grandfather was C.M. Eddy Jr. He was a writer back in the 1920s, and he was good friends with H.P. Lovecraft. They used to pal around together, and Lovecraft would come over to the house all the time, and they would go for walks around the streets of Providence and trade story ideas. Then they would go back home and write the stories, and then meet up later, usually at my grandfather's house or somewhere, and read the stories to each other and critique them before they sent them into Weird Tales to get published. And he was also good friends with Houdini. He was a ghostwriter for Houdini, and he was an investigator for Houdini. He used to, toward the end of Houdini's life, he always wanted to expose the fake seances. So my grandfather was one of many who used to go and do a seance and figure out how they did the tricks, and he would report back to Houdini. And then Houdini would show up like probably like a week later or a couple of weeks later with the newspaper and make it seem like he figured it all out himself. So after my grandfather died, and we put his things away, and after a while, I started going through things, and I found all his original manuscripts and all papers from back then, letters from Lovecraft, letters from Houdini. So I decided I wanted to republish his stories. So I started a small press, Fenham Publishing, and I put The Love Dead is one of the books that I have. There's 13 short stories in there. The bulk of those are the ones that he was in Weird Tales. So I put together a couple of his short stories collections, and I also put together a collection of my grandparents' memories of him that they wrote throughout the years of H.P. Lovecraft. Because a lot of people would ask my grandparents what type of person Lovecraft was, because not a lot of people knew him. They knew him from his stories. So that's kind of like a personal view of H.P. Lovecraft in their own words. I used to come over to the house for dinner, things like that, just like a friendship memory of him. So.
Great, that's great. I mean, he was like before Penn and Teller. He was doing the stuff with Houdini, that they do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep, exactly. Yep.
And how long have you been doing Fenham Publishing?
Fenham Publishing, I've probably been doing about maybe 10, 11 years, something like that. Yeah. So.
And right here in Rhode Island, right?
Right here in Rhode Island, yeah. I grew up in Providence, but I'm based in Narragansett right now. So, yep. So.
All right, and your website? What do you have?
My website is www.fenhampublishing.com. It's FENHAM publishing.com. So.
Great, thank you, Jim.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you talking to me. So.
Okay, I am here with Zephyr from 5 Wits Entertainment. Now, 5 Wits, for those of you who may not know, it's an interactive experience. There really isn't no other way to describe it. They have a place up at appropriately named Patriot Place, and it's a whole lot of fun. So, Zephyr, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Okay, why don't you talk a little bit about 5 Wits and what it's all about?
Sure. So what we do at 5 Wits, you described it pretty well. It is interactive entertainment. It's unlike anything else you've ever done before because nothing else like it really exists. So it's real, it's immersive, it's not 3D or virtual. You're in actual physical sets and environments. You have to solve puzzles and challenges, interact with your environment to get to the end of the plot. The plot could even have multiple outcomes based on your performance. It's like a walk-through theme park attraction meets a real-life video game.
Exactly. Think of it like an interactive movie, except it's real. And we've done it. I've done it. I've done your 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, undersea adventure type deal, and it's an absolute lot of fun. So I know you have that one, and you also have the espionage one. Is there any other ones that you are working on?
We are actually in development of a new one right now, which is halfway built at our productions facility. So we have another location up in New York. and they have one that's it's called Toob. It's an Egyptian tomb, very Indiana Jones style. There's booby traps. There's an angry pharaoh, and the one that we're finishing up production on right now is the title's still in development, but it is a medieval castle attraction, and I can tell you, you get to fight a giant dragon, which is pretty cool.
Wow, that sounds awesome. And for more information, then go to 5wits.com.
It is 5-wits.com. Yep, there's a little hyphen in there.
Okay, awesome. You have to go check it out. Like I said, they're up at Patriots Place in Foxborough, Mass., and you will have a whole lot of fun. Great fun for you and the family. Zephyr, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for talking to me.
All right, we are with a couple of gentlemen from Inkwell Awards. Notice the fancy T-shirts, okay? Tell us a little bit about this program and what Inkwell Awards is all about.
The Inkwell Awards is a nonprofit charity that I organized going into 2008. It was formed because I was noticing a lot of disappointment from ink artists within the comic book industry about a lack of recognition, understanding, and some changes in policies compared to how things had traditionally been before that, involving credits and things like that. So we decided to try to put something together where we could recognize the finer artists that handle the art form of inking in the comic book medium. And we started having annual awards, first online, and then by about 4 years ago, I believe it was, that the Charlotte Heroes Con agreed to take us on as the host show to have a live awards ceremony every June. Besides that, we do have a comprehensive website that does try to educate as much as possible to your lay people about what inking is. And we also have a scholarship that we raise money for to the Joe Kubert School, called the Dave Simons Inkwell Memorial Scholarship, and we do have other programs that are intended to benefit inkers. Inkers are known to often fall below the radar. They don't have the rock star, attention that your writers and your pencilers get. But that's also part to do with the fact that inking is comic book centric. It's not something your average person would know outside the business. It was created solely within the comic book business, so it leaves them confused whether we're filling in blacks, tracing, coloring, or whatnot. So we accept that. We try to educate. We try to be positive, and like I said, we try to promote the art form as much as possible.
Well, I think Bob pretty much covered all of it. He brought me on as the assistant director 3 years ago now, has it been?
Okay.
I run the eBay auctions. It's a really good organization. It really, helps the community understand what inking really is. And that's our main goal, is to educate the public, as Bob was saying.
Now, are you inking anything yourself?
Yes, I am inking something now. It's called Power Kill Station. I don't think I can disclose much because I signed a non-disclosure agreement, but my editor had given me a permission recently in an interview that I did. So I'm going to say pretty much that he would allow this extension, that if I give little bits of information. There is no scheduled release date. The format, the publisher, that information is premature. We don't know. He's looking into that. But it will be a 4-issue series that has mature content. It's a satirical story, somewhere in the area of your Wally Wood kind of fun but naughty works. Maybe a little more than that, but definitely not to the level of Howard Chaykin's Black Kiss, which is much more graphic.
All right. And what are you inking right now?
I'm currently working on a book for a small press company called Fourth Wall Productions out of North Carolina called The Ace Blade. And basically, he is Vegas City's vigilante. He starts off as an MMA fighter. Some things happen to him along the way. And he decides he's going to protect Vegas City. That's pretty much all I can say about that.
Okay, cool. I should mention, there is also another project, and they're not sure which one they're going to release first, but the same people that hired me were also doing Jittery Tales, which is sort of an EC horror anthology along those lines. that would be a little more easier to understand conceptually. But we're working on that now. They just don't know which one's coming out first, so I would be neglect. I don't want to neglect mentioning that.
Okay. Now, if they want more information about the Inkwell Awards, is there a website they can go to?
Absolutely. That would be at www.inkwellawards.com.
And you don't need the T-shirt. There we go. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
All right, let's see what else is going on at Comic-Con.
Well, I've got to say, I am very psyched right now. Next to me, now you guys know how, for years, how much I talked about how much and how cool RockBand is. Well, with me is Aaron Treitz, who happens to be one of the head guys from Harmonix Studios. One of you're not the top guy, but you're not one of the little guys either.
Kind of a big deal. No, I'm just happy to be here. You know, I'm the community manager for Harmonix, so I try to make the rounds to all the different shows and, you know, check to see how games are showing. And the crew at GameStop here and Arcade Events, they're setting up Fantasia, so it's pretty cool for us to be able to see the game out here at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Which is really cool. Now, why don't you talk a little about Fantasia Music of All? It's been out for a couple of weeks. The reviews have been excellent. Yep. For a lot of people, it's the reason to have a Connect with the Xbox One. And I will say it, because a lot of people were kind of like, with the Connect. And I still don't really agree. I understand where they were going when they separated it from the Xbox One. But this is a reason to own one. So why don't you talk a little bit about the game and how well it's doing and why people should get it?
So Disney kind of approached us to do Fantasia in the first place, which is kind of an honor. You know, they knew our pedigree as a music gaming studio, so it made perfect sense to kind of revitalize use Harmonix to revitalize Fantasia. So the game isn't like a straight adaptation or continuation of the movie. There's definitely very similar elements. You can see that they're kind of like conducting right now. It's very similar to Mickey as the Sorcerer's Apprentice, kind of conducting the seas and the skies. But a lot of the stuff here is like, it's a weird game. Like, I'm just going to say straight up, like, it's a very weird game. Probably the strangest thing we've ever made at Harmonix. But it feels very natural for that same kind of Fantasia vibe. Like, the original movie was very, very weird, right? Like, there's dancing hippos, and there's demons, like, coming out of mountains and taking over towns. So we've tried to capture a lot of that same sensibility in Fantasia. So you can do, half of the game is this kind of motion control, kind of like conducting, and then the other half of the game is this kind of exploration, where you have these different musical realms where you can kind of navigate your way through, and you can find sea monsters, and you can find singing yetis. It's really like, it's such a strange, quirky game. There's so much to explore, and there's so many different songs that you can play too. So we really try to cover the gamut.
And also, Dance Central is really going strong for you guys. Now you guys are on the next-gen systems. How's that going?
It's going great. Dance Central Spotlight's kind of a continuation of what we did with Dance Central 1, 2, and 3. One of the things that we're most excited about is that we were able to carry over all of the content that you bought for DC 1, 2, and 3. Any DLC you bought, that's cross-compatible on Xbox One, which is something that we're really excited about. But yeah, so far, we've been really happy, you know, getting a lot of people playing Dance Central on next-gen consoles.
Which is awesome. I know also you do some stuff on the portables. You have Record Run that's come out on the iOS platform, and I believe on Android as well.
Yep, and we're really starting to explore mobile. So you may hear some more mobile news from Harmonix in the very near future. We haven't announced anything yet, but Record Run really was kind of like our first foray into mobile. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if you heard something in probably the next 2 or 3 months.
That's awesome. And, of course, I can't let you go without talking about RockBand. RockBand is your legacy. No, RockBand, and you know, I've been to PAX East for 3 years in a row, and we talked a little bit about this, just how many people still get together and have nightly RockBand sessions and just go ahead and jam out, and just the unbelievable amount of DLC that you have. And a couple of months ago, you actually came out with a, like a little, you know, and my mind's drawing a blank, but you had a little survey. See, I got it. So you had a survey as to what people would want to see in a new RockBand release. So I know it's on the back burner. Is there anything that you can talk about or anything that you would like to see?
There's nothing official, I can say, but I can definitely tell you that Rock Band remains very near and dear to our hearts. It's a huge part of the cultural DNA at Harmonix. It's something that, means the world to us, and so we certainly haven't seen the last of Rock Band. When it comes back and how it comes back kind of remains to be seen, but we have been sending out surveys and kind of polling people casually just to see what kind of interest they would have in a new Rock Band. So if anyone watching has any specific thoughts for what they'd like to see in a new Rock Band or what kind of like their ideal features would be, they can hit us up on Twitter at RockBand. Let us know what you'd like to see, and we'll kick that over to the developers and maybe see what magic can happen in the next few months.
That is awesome, Aaron. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, we are with Mr. Colin Baker, the Sixth Doctor from the Doctor Who TV series. How do you like? Well, welcome to Providence.
A great pleasure. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, it's nice
Meet
to be
all these lovely people.
Yep. And what do you think about the convention so far?
So far, so good. The fans are brilliant, all of them, and they've been very welcoming, and they've made the event special. You can see them all behind me.
Yes, very nice.
So the fans have been very good.
Good.
It's been very busy too.
Your incarnation is one of my favorites out of all the Doctors.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. The coat, the whole 9 yards. Now, do you have an explanation? I have a little thing to ask you. What is with the cat pin that you had on the uniform?
Well, there is a famous writer called Rudyard Kipling, and there's a quote from one of his books which is, "I am the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to me." And it struck me that's what the Doctor was like. The Doctor is a cat. Dogs will hang around and annoy you forever. But cats, if you annoy them, they'll be off.
Yeah, I have 2 cats, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Cats do what they want to do, and then they go and mind their own business.
Okay.
And I thought that sums up the Doctor.
Okay. What was your favorite villain to work with on your show?
To work with, possibly the Rani, played by Kate O'Mara.
Right.
Sadly, who died this year.
Right.
A lovely actress and a friend of mine.
Okay.
So it was the Rani.
Okay, all right. And do you have a favorite episode from your era?
The 2 Doctors.
Yes, I was just watching that.
I'll show you. With him.
Yes. Patrick Troughton.
Patrick Troughton.
Yes.
Have you got a picture of that?
Yep.
He was the 2nd Doctor.
Yes.
And without the 2nd Doctor, there wouldn't have been a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc.
Yep.
So he did such a good job of that first regeneration.
I just finished watching that. I rented it on Netflix, so it was a good series.
Yeah.
It was really good. Now, you kind of invaded the 50th anniversary celebrations. You did a little bit of you and some other Doctors dressed up as Daleks and all. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well,
You were a little rascallion when it came to those.
when it became clear that Peter Davison, myself, and Sylvester McCoy were not going to be invited to be a part
Which, by the way, was not a good thing to do.
of the 50th anniversary, which I can understand. You can't have too many Doctors cluttering up the screen. We decided for the fans we would do our own special show.
Right.
And it's called The 5-ish Doctors Reboot. And it's available on the internet and also as an extra on the latest Matt Smith collection.
Oh, nice.
So I think people can judge for themselves. It's a lot of fun and it's tongue-in-cheek.
All right. Now, what are the future plans for Colin Baker?
Say it again?
What are future plans for Colin Baker as far as writing, directing, anything else?
Well, Colin Baker, oh my goodness. I'm doing a lot of these at the moment because suddenly the show has got very popular.
Right.
So I'm satisfying the worldwide hunger for Doctor Who by coming to as many of these events as I can at the moment.
Okay.
There's a couple of books in the offing, which I can't say much about yet. Otherwise, it's work as usual.
Very good. All right. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Okay,
nice to
thank
see you.
Let's see what else is going on. All right, that's it for the December edition of Sci-Fi Journal. We had an awesome, wicked good time at Rhode Island Comic Con, didn't we?
Yep, I had a wonderful.
Oh yeah, awesome, awesome time.
The best. It was good. It was awesome. We've met a lot of nice people. Thanks to Rhode Island Comic Con, folks, for letting us tape. That's going to be it for the December show. Thank you very much for watching. Ed Wills, see you next year. Bye.